Welcome. Hi. I know everybody's in nice, fun morning conversations. We want to get everybody to work on time, though. So just kind of finish everything up, and we'll get going in just a minute here. I think it'll be really powerful. All right, as people are coming in, I'm going to get things going here because we have a couple of really special speakers that I want you to be able to hear from this morning. Welcome and good morning. My name is Jenny Ann Chondo, one of the morning anchors and reporters for Fox 59. Excited that I've got this early morning shift so I can be here with you. This is sort of lunchtime for me. It is just such a pleasure to see so many people coming in. By this time, I know a lot of you have your breakfast already, so go ahead and start eating. Don't feel like you need to listen. You'll be able to, you can multitask. So go ahead and dig into that breakfast. I want to officially welcome you to the 5th annual Face of Hope Breakfast for Little Red Door Cancer Agency. I will be your host for this morning's program, just sort of guiding you through everything that's happening today and introducing you to some very, very special people in this community. I now have the distinct honor of welcoming the Honorable Mayor of Indianapolis, Greg Ballard, up on the stage to say a few words.
Thanks, Jenny, and I truly appreciate everybody coming out today to this 5th annual event, the Face of Hope Breakfast, which is a tremendous event. As you probably know, Little Red Door does so much in our community, and they have activities going on all the time. I know my wife participated in the Eat Well, Live Well event down at the city market where she made pancit. I don't know if any of you know that Filipino dish called pancit, but it's certainly our kids' favorite. So she's doing that. Of course, we had that Zumba thing going on, Fred, am I right? The Zumba thing last summer, and that was a lot of fun at Military Park. But it's not the fact that Winnie and I go to these places. It's really, the point is how much Little Red Door does in our community. And there are so many people dependent on what they do year in and year out. And that's why I think it's important that we all continue to support Little Red Door, because they do so much work. And if you saw, and I think you will see at this breakfast, how much good they do for individuals, and it's rather dramatic, to be honest with you. So I want to thank Little Red Door, and I wanted to come out here and say hello to everybody for breakfast. I'm sorry I have to be downtown at another breakfast at 8 o'clock. But I just wanted to come down. It's important to me to come and say hi, at least, to everything Little Red Door does, if at all possible, because they make a huge difference in so many people's lives. And so that's why I hope you take that to heart this morning and understand the cause with which they are associated with, because it means so much to our community. I love talking about the caring and compassionate city that we all live in. We certainly saw it last Saturday night and throughout the week, and this is another part of it that I think has been doing it for a long time now. I want it all to continue. So thank you for coming out today. Thank you for supporting Little Red Door. Please continue. Enjoy your breakfast. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Good morning, and just kind of welcoming you in once again. If you just came in, my name is Jenny Ann Chondo, and I'm one of the morning anchors for Fox 59. Fox 59 has been deeply connected to Little Red Door Cancer Agency for the past couple of years here, and it has just been a really unique experience for us. You're going to be able to see some of our stories and meet some of the people that we've interviewed a little bit later on. But I hope that if you're new to being connected to this agency, that you've had a chance to kind of speak to some of the people at your table. Some of you are cancer survivors, clients of Little Red Door, volunteers, employees, new donors, people who have been donors for a long time. So, there's definitely a connection that we all have at this breakfast this morning. A lot of people to thank this morning. Little Red Door wanted me to make sure and thank some of the sponsors. So a lot of gratitude to IU Health as the presenting sponsor, also Fifth Third Bank, Ice Miller, and Wayne Zink and Randy Deere as contributing sponsors. So this is just a gorgeous event this morning, isn't it? Yeah, we've got the red carpet, the lights. Pretty fancy out here at the Fairgrounds, if you ask me. So also just want to thank a few other people here this morning. Special appreciation to the men and women who are table captains today. So just set down the fork for 1 second and stand up for me. Table captains, go ahead and stand up. We're going to talk about you. So thanks to those table captains, a record number of people are actually here this morning, more than have ever been here before. So they're basically instrumental in the success of this entire agency in terms of connecting new people to it and also in terms of fundraising. So if you'd like to become a part of that group, I know that Little Red Door staff members are here. You can get a hold of them and find out how you can be connected and maybe be a table leader next year. Also, most importantly here, we are just thrilled to have all of you, especially if this is your first time coming to an event hosted by Little Red Door Cancer Agency. You'll learn a lot about it today and hopefully be inspired by some of these people here. Basically, the goal of this agency is to make the most of life and the least of cancer for the medically underserved in central Indiana. So something I think a lot of us can stand behind. Let me tell you what we have coming up in the lineup today. You're going to be hearing from several of the boys and girls, the men and women that Little Red Door helps each and every day, and you'll also learn more about Little Red Door's vital work in the community. So to talk about that, Little Red Door CEO Fred Duncan was kind of popping around everywhere. I had to rein him in. Are you back, Fred? Okay, good. Okay, I'm like, okay, we're going to start. Okay, 30-second warning, 60-second warning. Okay, he is here. He is going to talk about how tens of thousands of our neighbors have been helped each year because of Little Red Door. There you are.
Hiding behind you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the 5th annual Face of Hope breakfast. When we started 5 years ago, we had 225 guests. This morning, there are almost 800 of you this morning. It's truly inspiring for us. Yeah. It is truly inspiring for us to know how many people we have who are willing to help us as we go about our mission of making the most of life and the least of cancer. So thank you to table captains. Thank you to our board members. We have probably the best board in the city of Indianapolis. I'm proud every day to get to serve with them, so we're grateful for their support and their friendship. And we're just grateful that you'd come this morning and learn a little more about us and a little more about the people that we serve. Every year I begin writing my remarks on Monday, and I throw them away Tuesday night. And the staff is accustomed to this, and they don't get stressed by it anymore. And because we always know that some new piece of inspiration will show up. And in fact, a new piece of inspiration showed up yesterday in the form of a 4-page handwritten thank you letter from one of our clients. And I want to read you a couple of excerpts from that thank you letter. And if I choke up, you guys know I'm a little bit of a sentimental guy about our clients, and you'll forgive me for that, I hope. Hello. My name is LaTanya, and I'm writing this letter with the intention of letting the Little Red Door Cancer Agency know how much they have helped me and how much hope and encouragement they have given me. I was diagnosed in August with stage 4 colon cancer. As it turns out, I had to go downtown on Meridian for other business. And as we were leaving, I turned my head to the left and saw your building. I told my nephew to please turn around and let me go in and check it out. I was greeted by Lachelle, who has turned out to be an angel. She told me all about the services that the Little Red Door could provide me, and she told me about the services she could help to connect me to. She told me that the agency could help me with transportation to and from my medical visits and doctor's appointments. I was overjoyed because I needed that. She also informed me that at Christmas time, they could enroll my 5-year-old daughter in their Christmas program list. Now, as a single 49-year-old divorced woman with a young daughter, this was music to my ears because I was not sure how I was going to handle Christmas for my daughter this year. I went home and cried and thanked God for the Little Red Door Cancer Agency. You have made my diagnosis so much easier to bear by taking those two major concerns off my shoulders. Lachelle and Tiffany have been extraordinary in their time and effort and heartfelt concern for me at this time. I want your agency and your donors to know that my daughter and I truly thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything that has been afforded to us. My daughter has been a real trooper through this illness, and to know that she will be provided Christmas this year due to the kindness of others moves me deeply. So thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. In our service area this year of Marion and the surrounding counties, 35,000 people will be diagnosed with cancer. In that same service area, 14,000 people will die from cancer. Those people will cross every demographic background. There'll be senior citizens, and there'll be seniors in high school. There'll be Black, white, Latino, Asian, and Hispanic. They will be gay and straight. There will be parents. They will be children. They will be rich and they will be poor. They will have insurance and they will not have insurance. Their families will be large and capable of providing much help, and they will have no one at all. But while they will all be very different, they are going to have something in common. Each and every one of those 35,000 people is going to have need, significant need, for someone to reach their hand out and help them to get through a very difficult time. Perhaps it will be family, perhaps it will be friends, perhaps it will be an organization like ours. Because we are there for folks when they have that need. You know, in the last 3 years, we have grown tremendously. We feel as though we are crazy successful at the agency. We've increased our budget by 50% in 3 years. We have doubled the numbers of people that we are helping. Yet, even with that much growth, we are still only serving about 10% of the people in our service area who are diagnosed with cancer every year. We could do so much more. We are poised to do so much more. We hold all of the assets that we need to grow significantly. We're set in a great building, we have an amazing staff, but most importantly, we have vital information and knowledge that most people don't have when they become involved and are going down this journey. We are making connections every day for folks. We enroll them in Medicaid, Wishart Advantage, Project Health, Healthy Indiana, the Winter Assistance Fund, the United Christmas Service, and the United Way. We connect them to programs at the American Cancer Society and the cancer support community. Navigation, stewardship is perhaps the greatest need that the cancer community is going to face in the coming years. As healthcare changes around us, as the payer sources change for people, what people will need the most in the future is someone to help them figure out how to get through the process. We are perfectly poised for that. LaTanya's letter perfectly illustrates that for us. We provided Tanya with a very important and pretty expensive service by getting her back and forth to treatment. But we also provided LaTanya with a very important and not very expensive service by connecting her to the United Christmas Service. I hope this morning, as you meet some of our clients and you hear our stories, you will keep in mind that we set in such a critical place in central Indiana, and have the potential to make such a big difference inside people's lives if we can just grow and have more navigators to answer more phone calls, to connect more people to the things that will make their lives easier and move them along in their journey. So thank you this morning for coming. Thank you this morning for listening to my remarks. I hope you have a great time, and I will be back at the end of the program with another little ask for you. So thanks so much. I'll turn the floor back to Jenny.
I think what's special about that letter that Fred read is that, in a sense, it's not all that unique. I guarantee you they have dozens of letters just like that coming in, and I know that because we've done so many stories with their clients, and sometimes it's hard to get somebody to speak on camera about something as emotional as going through cancer treatment. They've spoken to us during the treatment, while they're on their way to treatment, when they are just finally in remission, and overwhelmingly, the reason why they do that is because they say, yeah, you know, I'm hurting, but somebody came out and helped me. And so, yeah, I'll speak to you about that and let people know about that. So, that letter, you know, they get letters like that all the time. This agency has served more than 15,000 men and women in our community just in the last year alone. Actually, 67 years old today, so a huge milestone today. The agency has worked tirelessly for those in need, and over the next several minutes, you're going to become more connected to those people and learn a little bit more about them. So to kick things off, I want you to enjoy a short video on one of the many services that the agency hosts this year.
This is my first trip here to Little Red Door. I don't guess I was ready to make this trip, but I finally did. I'm very happy.
I was off for 6 months with chemotherapy. Just now starting back full time, and yeah, Little Red Door was tremendously helpful.
Women that come through here, they just really enjoy the pampering, and they love the product. They love the way that it makes their skin feel. I'm just happy to be able to provide this for them.
You can't get no more beautiful than what you are. Lipstick does not do it for you. You do it for the lipstick.
Oh, they always offer support. Anything you need, they're always there. You can call them, and they'll give you information to whatever it is you need.
See if wands have more fun.
I'm here for her anytime she needs me, anytime.
Little Red Door is a godsend for a lot of women. Women that are not able to afford the things that they give us or even help us out. I'm grateful for Little Red Door. And they do call you back.
So what that video was one of the open houses that Little Red Door Cancer Agency holds. They do one every single quarter. 300 women and men have attended in the last year here. So a lot of people being impacted by this, and it's just kind of a chance for them to relax a little bit, have somebody take care of them, take care of other needs that they might have in their life, and just kind of, spend some time on themselves that is not focused on just that recovery and just that treatment. So without something like that, a lot of people would simply go without. They also have the WIG program, as you saw during that video, and some of you saw that as you were walking in too. And I've been able to sit in on one of those sort of settings where they come in and they do that, and somebody can come in feeling so vulnerable and insecure because of what she's just been through. And it's just like that added little boost. So if she is able to go to work in the middle of chemotherapy treatment, she's able to put that wig on and have a little bit of confidence. And the particular woman I was with said she absolutely would not have been able to afford that wig because of everything else she was paying for. Somebody else that I am excited to introduce, and yeah, Barb, this means you're coming up pretty soon here, is somebody that I had the pleasure of interviewing on Fox 59. You might not know her name or her face, but I am sure you've seen her work. She was one of 46 people selected to create one of those murals for the Super Bowl. So you've seen those around the community. Hers is down on the canal. She also does all of the artwork inside of Bankers Life Fieldhouse. So all those advertisements and things like that are Barb's work. She probably wouldn't brag about herself. So that's why I'm here. Go ahead and come on up, and we'll get you going here with your story. When I interviewed Barb, she was one of the people who said, she just wasn't sure if she wanted to speak about it. She hadn't even told anybody that she was going through this. Literally kept working through all of her chemotherapy treatments, working on those paintings for our community and continuing to support her family. So when it came about to do this story, she said, okay, sure, yeah, I've been through all this, and now I will publicly for the first time speak about this, whereas she hadn't even really shared her story with anybody. So Barb Stahl, I am just so impressed and inspired by her, and I'm excited for you to meet her.
Hi, I'm Barb Stahl, and I'm really very grateful to be here. In January of 2011, after having an amazing holiday with friends and family, I found a small lump in my breast. It was about the size of an almond. And so I Googled it, and it had every characteristics of a cyst. So I thought, okay, it's a cyst. It's not too much to worry about. But I went ahead and scheduled a mammogram anyway, and I had that mammogram at the end of March, and it came back benign cyst. So I totally didn't worry about it too much. I, at the time, was still in New Jersey. I was finishing up a 2-year residency out there where I was working in a gallery and on East 57th Street, and I worked in a French restoration shop. It was wonderful, but I was getting ready to come back here to move and to work on the 46 by 46 as well as the Pacers schedule wall. And I do that every year. And so I came back as planned in July. I was going to find a place to live, and when I got done with my work, I would go back to New Jersey to get my stuff and come back. And so it was about the end of August at that point, and my really close girlfriend called me, and she had been diagnosed with breast cancer. And she literally broke down crying, begging me to go get a second opinion because my cyst had been growing. And so I went to my healthcare facility to try to get a referral for a little red door mammogram, and they said, well, I hadn't been there for over a year, so I had to refill in my paperwork. They weren't able to do it. Well, all my paperwork was still in New Jersey. So I drove by the little red door every day on my way to work, and I just said, I'm just going to go in. So I went in, and I spoke with Lachelle, and I actually showed her the lump, which by this time was about the size of a ping pong ball. It was 8.5 centimeters, and the skin around it was really red. And she had my healthcare facility on the phone and had that referral within minutes. So I was very, very grateful for her doing that. So I had the referral, we made the appointment, I went out to New Jersey, came back, got myself moved in, and had the mammogram. They wanted the biopsy, had the biopsy. That was a couple weeks later. And in fact, it was stage 3 triple negative inflammatory breast cancer. Lachelle had told me that when I got the results to make sure that I came back into her office. And upon hearing this news, you're pretty shell-shocked, especially when you really were in denial and really thought that it was a cyst. And I didn't really know what to do. And Lachelle brought me in. She was, you know, of course I brought my paperwork. I had it with me. And her positiveness, you know, women survive this every day. We're going to help you. She had a health insurance plan on the phone while I was sitting there, and we gave them the numbers, and I got pre-approved right there. She then proceeded to make my appointment at IU Simon Cancer Health Cancer Center, which is top rate. Just everybody there is so amazing. I can't even begin to put that into words. She had them on the phone. She had my appointments, and she just kept assuring me things was going to be right. She told me that I was going to get some letters in the mail from the insurance people. These were the documents I needed, and she told me that she had this like gift bag for me. And it was amazing. It had this great cancer book in it that I can't tell you. I just went home and I read from cover to cover. It was a really beautiful Vera Bradley bag, and it had these products in it. She gave me this plastic portfolio that she said was going to collect all my papers, that I was just going to get, my life was going to change, and all of this is very true. And then she, in the portfolio, she put, you know, the insurance contact's phone number, my doctor's phone number, Little Red Door's phone number, and then she even put her own private cell phone number in there for me to call her at any time that I needed. So, Lachelle, if you're here, I love you, and thank you very much. And leaving with that, I felt like I had a connection, I had a friend, and I can't tell you how grateful I am to all of you sponsors and donors that made this possible, because I have some more art that I want to make for Indianapolis, and I'm really grateful that I'm here. So thank you very much.
I told you she was special. She really is. Something that I learned from Barb, and I've actually thought about a lot since I interviewed you. She said, I was always, through the treatment, I was always in a state of gratitude. So when I was well enough to go to work, I was grateful that I had a job. And when I was so sick that I couldn't get out of bed, I was grateful for my bed. So it was just something that really stuck with me. I remember, you know, hearing you say that and hearing what a unique perspective that was, considering what she had just gone through. So I'm just, you know, glad that Little Red Door was able to kind of step in when they did to help somebody so special. All right, I mentioned that we've done a bunch of different stories with Little Red Door clients and at different events. One of the events is Camp Little Red Door. This is a place of hope, of kindness, of family, camaraderie. It's a place where children can go if they are dealing with cancer, either from within their families or if it's maybe them themselves that have cancer. They're able to go there, they take a friend, they get away for a little while, and they say it's just sort of this chance to be a kid once again, which so many of them do not have the opportunity to do. So here's the broader perspective. I want you to watch this story, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
My doctor told me about it. At first I didn't want to have to spend a week of my summer outdoors in the woods, but my mom eventually talked me into it. And it's been good ever since, so.
Once they're here, it's just summer camp. You know, they are just like any other kid. They deserve to have the summer camp experience like we had all growing up.
You're not treated like you got cancer here. You're treated just like you're an average kid going to camp.
They get to just share and get to know one another. And I think that's really important when you come to summer camp.
help a lot of people. It taught me that you can't always judge somebody on their looks or just by their actions, because you never know the story behind them.
It's very generous, and I appreciate it a lot, because without it, I probably wouldn't have been able to come here, along with a lot of other kids.
I wanted to work with this bunch of kids and get to meet them and get to know them. It's been a blast. It's one of my favorite weeks of the entire summer.
I think us as staff get a lot more out of it than the campers. I think they really truly teach us what the meaning of life is, and just to enjoy every moment to its fullest.
It makes you kind of emotional when you have to pack your bags when your parents are right at the door. So, but you always look forward to coming back next year.
So those are some of the kids. It's just, as they explained it to me first, what is this? It's regular camp. It's a chance for them to get away. So it's something neat. And then they also have that bond and that unique thing that they have gone through. So many of the campers explained to me, I grew up at 7 years old when I wasn't sure if I was going to survive. So they're unbreakable bonds, and they're people that stick together year after year after year. And one of those young ladies who's been involved in this is Sierra Little. She is a Robert T. Grand Leadership Academy participant and a 3-year camper. She's going to share her story with us today about how camp positively changed her life. So join me in welcoming Sierra Little.
Good morning. Thank you all for coming and supporting Camp Blood Red Door. When I was 9, I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma. It's a rare form of bone cancer that is really aggressive. I went through 9 months of chemotherapy, 4 major surgeries, and 20 hospital stays. And that was in less than 10 months' time. I actually qualified for a special study in the Ewing sarcoma chemotherapy protocol. It was more intense than the program currently being used. The basis of it was to determine how often I went in for chemotherapy prevented the reoccurrence of cancer. And it was going in every other week, and the study was successful. So since then, they have changed it, and now every Ewing sarcoma patient goes in every other week. Throughout my battle with cancer, I had a fairly large support system, mainly my parents over there, my church, my relatives. My friends especially, neighbors, nurses, even teachers, my vice principal even at the time. However, I did rely on them the most. Also, the kids in the hospital were a big help, giving me advice, entertainment, and whatever I was craving at the moment, whether it was Taco Bell, KFC, they went and got it for us. It was during my stays at the hospital that I learned of Camp Little Red Door. I was really excited. I was told other kids that went through what I went through were going to be there. And it's not every day you meet somebody that's been diagnosed with cancer, so that was really great. The idea of being away from home was scary, but it was also exhilarating at the same time. I first attended Camp Little Red Door when I was 14, and I brought my friend Kayla with me. I was really shocked at the number of people I met that had similar stories to what I did. It wasn't every day I got to talk to somebody about central lines or hospital stays. Knowing somebody that went through the ups and downs that you did was really a great feeling, and I wouldn't know that if it wasn't for you guys. I've grown close with a lot of the people there at camp. I still talk to a lot of people I met my first year, counselors, staff, even the people that keep coming back every year with me. It's really awesome. For 360 days, we look forward to going back to camp because it's so much fun for us. It's a place for us to make memories, just to have fun, you know, and feel normal. It's unique because it's geared around children who have had cancer, and even though each story may be different, we all have one thing in common. There are plenty of activities to keep us feeling normal and like every other kid is able to do, even though we may have certain limitations, they make it happen. The staff is so friendly and caring there, and it just gets better every time you go. This year was probably my favorite because I was involved with the leadership program there, where you get to help out with the camp counselors and be like a junior counselor. And just going to camp has been one of the best experiences of my life. I can't express that enough. So thank you for giving me and others like me the opportunity to go to Camp Little Red Door.
You are a brave one. I appreciate you. I think we can all, you know, learn a lot and sort of follow in those courageous footsteps too. When you see people who should not have to be learning these types of lessons at such a young age, it is just, it's remarkable. And there's a whole camp of people just like Sierra that are going through the same thing and thankfully connecting to one another. So what we want to do now is do a final video kind of showcasing one of the great supporters of Little Red Door. Unique Home Solutions has partnered with the agency for more than 10 years, and the contributions are massive. More than $100,000 has been donated to help this cause. It's an amazing story in a relationship that essentially started with Little Red Door about 30 years ago when the agency assisted someone just like many of us sitting here in the room. I don't want to spoil the story for you, so I want to introduce Bob Dillon, who is the president of Unique Home Solutions, to do the talking through a short presentation that he has. Bob? Bob, don't make me do this by myself.
Her name was Elizabeth Catherine Hicks, so when I tell people I'm a real hick from Kentucky, I'm telling the truth. When she was young, she was super energetic, always ready to help somebody. Well, when my mom was diagnosed with cancer, she'd been sick for almost 3 years, and she didn't want to die in a hospital, was her main request. At that point, I was a manager of a small loan company, lived in an apartment, didn't have a lot of financial resources. When I first heard of Little Red Door, my wife, Debbie, had told me about it. She was familiar with working with them, with people on disability, and she suggested that I call them. When I contacted Little Red Door, I dealt with them primarily because at that point, my mom, Katie, she wasn't capable of dealing with anything. They gave me a person assigned I could call day or night. They had the hospital bed delivered to the apartment that I had her in. They helped me with everything that we needed at that time. Remember then, I'm about 26, 27 years old, so I was lost. I had no idea how to deal with it. Truthfully, I picked Little Red Door just strictly from that personal experience. They were extraordinarily helpful, and they were there for me every step of the way. As Unique Home Solutions has grown over the years, we've always had our own employees, and we've been a community organization. We try to give back to the community. We wanted to find a charity that helped exhibit those things. We put a survey out to our employees, and Little Red Door was at the top of the list. And when I remember helping with my mother, Katie, we started sponsoring their walk-run. We'd put a team together, and at that point in time, we only had 40 or 50 employees, and 30 of them would sign up to do the walk-run. It brings camaraderie to my employees. They pull together behind it, and it makes them prouder to be part of the company, which business-wise helps productivity. You know, I feel very fortunate to be where I'm at in life, and you want to give back and help others that might not have been as fortunate. You get a lot of pride and self-satisfaction if you support an organization like the Little Red Door. And if you're out there looking for a charity, I'd suggest going down to their office, because I'm sure the people there are just as friendly as they were 30 years ago. And even today, they bend over backwards to help people that need the help.
So Little Red Door wanted me to just give a huge thank you to Bob and all of the employees at Unique Home Solutions for all of the support and all the contributions over the last, 30 years here. So if there's one thing that I know about the people in this community is that they are intense in their generosity and intense in their philanthropic efforts. I've seen it time and time again through this agency and through so many others. So this is sort of the final stop on the journey today. I hope that the stories that you were able to see and the people that you heard from were enough to show you and make that personal connection to you to show how this really could be any of us. I know, we've all been in a place where we might need help with insurance or financing or a ride to the doctor, something so simple that they provide that is so imperative in that time of need. So I want to ask Fred and Sierra to come up one more time, and they're going to talk about the pledge for support.
You did awesome, by the way, Sarah. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your story with us. Before we move into that, I want to give a little shout out this morning to our sound guy. Craig, if you were here last year, you may remember Craig was one of our clients who spoke last year. He's an oral cancer survivor that was served by Little Red Door. And we were delighted yesterday when we looked up, and lo and behold, our sound guy from Marquis was Craig. And so, yeah, that's a pretty amazing, that's what we're... Those are the stories that we enjoy the most. I also want to say thanks to Bob Dillon. He's been a great friend to the agency, and I'm sure, Bob, that your mother would be as proud of your generosity as she would be of your success if she could be here with us this morning. So thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for making such a large financial gift to us over the years.
Many of you here today have experience with Little Red Door Agency through volunteering, donating, or attending other Little Red Door events, but some of you were introduced here for the first time. So when you came here today, most of you didn't know what exactly we were going to ask of you in terms of financial support. You probably came here because a friend invited you or because you already are familiar with the agency. Now that you've heard the whole Little Red Door Cancer Agency story and met some of the others who have helped like me, it's my privilege to ask you to make a financial investment in the agency's ongoing access. This is not just an investment in Little Red Door, it truly is an investment in our community, and I believe that it's one of the most important investments that anyone can make. Now Fred's going to tell you how you can help.
Thanks, Sierra. Yeah, we are a little shameless, and I am not even remotely ashamed of being shameless. Those of you whom I've asked for money know that I'm not shameless about that, because it is such important work that we do, and we, in fact, cannot do it if folks like you don't help us. It is due to the generosity of people sitting in this room and all the great friends that we make over the years that we're able to bring so much support to folks. So before we ask the table captains to hand out their pledge cards, I have another piece of news I want to share this morning. Our title sponsor of the breakfast for several years now has been IU Health, and I'm very pleased to share with you that a couple of weeks ago, the leadership folks at IU Health, our friends Jim Terwilliger and Doug Schwartzentruber, called me and said, we'd like to give you a little more money this year if we can. And so they said that they would increase their sponsorship this morning from their $15,000 title sponsorship to $35,000 this morning. And yeah. an additional $20,000 for us if we can raise an additional $20,000 in new money over what we raised last year. So how does new money work in an event like this? Many of you sitting in the room have a commitment to us already. You perhaps made a 3-year pledge last year, the year before that. When you get your pledge card, you can simply write, add a year onto my pledge, that counts. You can say, increase my pledge by 10%, that counts. If you've never been here before, any gift you make, that counts. If you came last year and made a one-time gift to us and you make another gift to us this morning, that counts. So I hope that you will allow that and help us reach that additional sponsorship gift from IU Health. We're very, very grateful for their great friendship, great support, the great work we do alongside them. So now, how about the table captains pass around our pledges of support? So we put the Face of Hope Society at the top of the list for a reason. It's the most important giving level that we have. That is a 3-year commitment to us. The first level of Face of Hope Society is $1,000 per year for the next 3 years. This is our Face of Hope Circle. The next level is $2,500 a year for the next 3 years, our President's Circle. And finally, $5,000 a year for the next 3 years is our Chairman's Circle. We would be very honored if you would consider one of those giving levels for us. We know that for some of you, that's more of a commitment than you'd like to make, so the next level there, I think, is you can make a gift of whatever is comfortable for you this morning. And we encourage you to think about whatever is comfortable for you this morning. Again, if you have a commitment to us and you know that you have that commitment, just write, keep my commitment going, add a year, add 10%. We have a great team of accountants. Tabitha laughed when I said a great team of accountants who will help to ferret all this out for us and figure it out. We'll follow up with you and figure that out. Just a little bit of sort of sharing what those things would do. One gift in the President's Circle puts 430 trips to treatment for someone. Our clients on average need 20 trips. That's when we enroll a new client in the transportation program, that's our average for them. So a gift of that size would take 20 people back and forth to their cancer treatments for the year, which would be fantastic. The largest level of Face of Hope Society would pay for 150 mammograms. And you heard Barb's story. We know that if we can get women screened, we know we can make a difference. Intersecting Barb when we did is the difference between Barb being able to paint more murals for the next, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, or not. So that's a very, very important gift for us.
We truly appreciate every level of support that you can give, and we ask that you consider making the first payment on your pledge today, or maybe you would like to consider a gift of stock or something else. We sincerely thank you, each and every one of you, on behalf of clients just like me, and we thank you all for the most important gift of you gave today, the gift of your valuable time, because we know you're all busy. And we appreciate that you took time out of your busy lives to be here this morning to learn about the Little Red Door Agency. We'll give you a few minutes now to finish tallying your cards. Once you have finished, please give it back to the table captain or table representative that you're sitting with. We're gonna thank you all again for donating and supporting, and we're gonna give it back to Jenny.
Thanks so much, everyone.
So just a couple more things as we're wrapping up here. On behalf of the board, the staff, and especially the clients of Little Red Door Cancer Agency, thank you so much, truly, for coming here this morning. I know you all are extremely busy. This is just imperative to their success, so thank you for coming out. The mission of the agency just centers on helping those in need with your commitment this morning. It's going to impact our friends, our neighbors, our families, possibly us someday. You just never know when we might might need to turn back around to a friend that we've been a friend to before. So they are so grateful for your generosity. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. We will see you in 2013.